I'm going to do a series of videos where I review certain games, certain sections of games, just to see if I can improve myself as a player and become better at the game. This is the formation and team I'm rocking. So I am a Middlesbrough fan, that's obvious because of all the Middlesbrough players. I spent all this year sort of evolving them. The one standout at the moment is this Kyle Joseph card. The reason I've got him in, showing as a whole player, is actually just signed in real life for Middlesbrough, so I thought, well, why not? Let's get him involved and get him as part of the team. I wouldn't do a separate video on him because it's the first time I've really done a proper chain Evo where I've looked at it and thought, right, this is what I want the player to do, these are the play styles I want, etc. So what I'll do, this is the team I rock, so this is the 4-3-3 fourth variation. I'll show you my tactics. So we'll go into it here. So you can see we've got starting at the back, we've got this goalkeeper on defend. I do normally have him on sweeper, but for some reason it keeps switching back to defend all the time. I don't know whether that's a bug in the game or what, but it just does that. I've got the right back and both centre backs on defend, and just holding that back line. A left back is as a false back on defend, which basically pushes him into a CDM position, which we'll explore a bit more throughout the video. I've then got my holding centre mid, again on defend, my box to box, ball winning. It does make a difference, just seem to get around the pitch a little bit more. If you just have them on sort of unbalanced, they don't seem to move. They don't seem to move as effectively. So on ball winning, just seem to move a lot quicker. I've got my Cam as a shadow striker. I've got Whitaker on the right wing as a winger attack. So he stays high and wide. He's my out ball if things get dodgy. I push him sort of high and wide. He pins back the opposition's left back. On the left wing, I've got wide playmaker build up because I don't want him to be high and wide. I want him to drop and play more as a left midfielder and link up with the false back and the shadow striker, and then up front we've got a false 9 as well. So this is how it's set up without the ball, and with the ball you can see how it sort of changes shape. In game it's a lot more, for me it's a lot more efficient, because what I tend to find is the false back actually moves more into where Hackney is, and Hackney moves more slightly over to the right, which pushes them Brown to attack the space between the strikers and the winger. So it does work really well, and we'll go through that in a bit more detail in a moment. Okay, so this is the start of the gameplay. We're going to have a bit of a review to see how things play out. We're just taking our time waiting for the space to open. You can see I've got some good options in the middle here. Right centre mid attacking the space, while the left centre mid providing a recycle option. Have the Cam, who's played as a shadow striker and pushing on, and then the false 9 who's rotated with the Cam and sat back into that space. One of the main purposes of this video is to review things like this. Should I have played the ball into that space there? In hindsight, looking at the body position of the defender, I think I should. That would have put me immediately on the front foot. I still had the left wing option open, and I've still got my right centre mid who's pointing, who's moving into that space as well. So I think that would have made a really aggressive move. Long on it, turned backwards and played a ball. I could have easily been intercepted. I managed to maintain possession though and get forward again. It's in this position where you can really see my tactic at work. I've got the shadow striking Cam and the false 9 who are constantly orbiting each other. One of the key parts of this formation is the left back, who I actually have on the false back instruction. It's really useful having him there because he provides an extra body in the midfield and links up really well with the shadow striker Cam and the false 9. You can see here the false back is really advanced, links up now with the right centre mid, who immediately then plays it into the false 9. False 9 here, Jacobs, that's the guy at the start of the video. I've actually done an Evo on him. Now I've built him a little bit differently. I focus more on physicality and passing rather than agility. Normally my false 9s are quite small to get around and get in between the lines. I want to try something a little bit different, but I will show a separate video on that. The movement here is brilliant. So the false man picks the ball up, and because of his enhanced passing, I'm able to thread the ball through perfectly to the box-to-box midfielder who's continued his run after playing the initial pass. All in all, I was really happy with how this particular section of gameplay turned out. Played well, passed and moved as a team. I liked how the tactic worked, it got me forward. There were definitely things I can learn from, like where I should have. It almost stalled in the middle. That could have been better, that could have been sharper. But I did like the link-up play, and I'm enjoying trying different builds for different positions. I appreciate you stopping by. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Be appreciated.